Madagascar, an island whose very name conjures up images of exotic wildlife and lush vegetation. But Madagascar is one of the poorest countries in Africa, and this means it's a priority for investment from CDC, the UK's development finance institution.
CDC's development mandate is to invest in those countries that are most challenging. So those countries where there's a need to develop the private sector, where the private sector is weakest and where jobs are scarce. And Madagascar is one of the poorest countries in sub-Saharan Africa.
An opportunity to invest in Madagascar came along in 2007. That's when CDC committed €7 million to a local fund managed by Adenia Partners, which in turn invested €3.2 million in the lychee industry, a key pillar of the Malagasy economy. Madagascar is the biggest exporter of lychees to Europe, exporting 20,000 tons annually. 80% of people in Madagascar live in rural areas, and a large proportion of this population depends on the lychee gathering season for an income.
Beyond being a key foreign exchange earning channel for the country, the lychee industry also employs many people. Beyond the 6,000 to 8,000 people who work at the production and export stations, you then have another 3,000 collectors or intermediary buyers who collect from the harvesters. And the harvesters are roughly 20,000 to 30,000 farming families along the eastern coast of Madagascar.
I enjoy collecting lychees. It helps me to gain more money. At the end of the year, we have a lot of things to pay for, especially when one has kids. I want to spoil them a little. That's why I collect this fruit, to have more money.
Adenia identified strong potential with Madagascar Lychee Export, MLE, a lychee export business based in the port of Tomasina. The plant is a major employer in the city with 1,600 local people on its books and a daily processing capacity of around 200 tons. But MLE's production process was complex and its tools and materials were out of date. It risked losing customers if it didn't standardize its business. Capital and support were crucial to the development of the company.
Many of the European importers were increasingly asking for basically international best practice to be utilized. MLE was interested in implementing those standards within their company, but they just didn't know how. So they were willing and open to an investment from Adenia to help them get to that point.
MLE creates jobs directly through its employees and indirectly through the supply chain. And a sustainable investment in a company like MLE through CDC's capital can grow the company, improve its operational practices, improve its environment, social and governance practices, and generate financial returns.
Since investing, the Adenia team has focused CDC's capital on improving the production processes, health and safety standards, and management at the plant.
On the operational front, it's been used to acquire 15 new sorting belts and 3,000 plastic pallets, which now lets the production process be more automated and more hygienic. We support the management team in implementing these good operational practices, both from a hygiene, health, and safety process, but also in terms of financial management.
The investment has resulted in much-needed employment opportunities. New jobs have been created, workers at the plant and in the supply chain have been trained, and temporary workers now have standardized work contracts.
We've hired 51 new staff since the beginning of our investment. In addition to just hiring staff, we've upgraded the staff. So they're trained in terms of quality issues, and even if they leave MLE, they're more empowered, better skilled, and can have impact in whatever company they choose to join in the future.
And it's the long-term and patient nature of the capital from CDC that's been crucial in supporting MLE to grow and create jobs.
CDC and other similar developmental financial institutions are key supporters and investors in the private equity industry in Africa. Frankly, without their participation, the PE industry would not exist, and small firms like MLE would not have access to risk capital. And so they would not be able to invest and to grow.